So the theme of this show was trying to figure out where you should be in a particular draft, and one of the key parts of that is not forcing it, and that really is good timing for this because this is kind of on the eve of the Pro Tour for me, and we're looking at a couple different constructed decks, and we just found out like right before we're about to leave that the deck we wanted to play is probably not going to work because the kind of the recent resurgence of green white with red sideboard cards has just made it too difficult. So we can't force it. And that's the whole point is we might want to play one of these sweet decks, but if it's not going to be good against something that we just found out that we think is going to be popular, we just absolutely cannot force it. And kind of recalibrating and readjusting when the plan you want isn't going to work. Don't get hit by the sunk cost fallacy. Don't think just because we've spent 50 hours testing this deck that we should get to play it, that we deserve to play it, or that it's a good idea to play it, because none of those things are true. And kind of adjusting to that is kind of the fun part of all that. So that's what's on my mind right now. It's just kind of funny we're talking about these, doing it in draft, and it clearly applies to constructed. It clearly also applies to basically any time you have to make a important decision. What you want and what is going to happen are not always the same thing, and you really can't make something happen that is not going to happen. So I have to figure out how to adjust to that. And the last thing I want to leave you with is the best story I can think of involving the Magic Online clock. And so I'm not going to name the name of this player because let's just say that they've been on some Hall of Fame ballots. I don't want to hurt their chances, but they were playing Magic Online. They have the top deck. They draw for their turn. Tell their opponent that, I can't believe how lucky you are. This is incredible. And then they disconnect. So their opponent's like, ugh, all right, whatever. Poor sport, disconnected. I'm going to win. The person then logs back on after 9 minutes and casts the lethal burn spell to win the game.
Oh my God.
So just think about the highs and the lows of their opponent there. So I'm not condoning this behavior, but it is incredibly, incredibly creative just thinking about, like, how do you come to this decision? You're like, I'm going to make my opponent think that I'm just a jerk who disconnected, but they think they won. And then after 9 minutes, because after 10 minutes you time out, after 9 minutes, log back on and cast the lethal burn spell. It's actually just incredible.
That is, I don't have the mental capacity to understand how that works in somebody's head. It's unbelievable.
So don't do that, but know that it is quite the story.